Hi guys, so this is the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Is it worth it in 2025? Let's find out. So the iPhone 13 Pro Max is definitely a big device. As you can see, it's quite bigger than the iPhone 13 from our last review. And you can see that it also has quite a heavy kind of texture to it. It's actually quite heavier. I would like my phone a bit lighter, but this one is heavy and it has a ceramic shield front, also stainless steel frame, so that's quite good. The display size in general is the 6.7-inch display. Then on the buttons, it has the same buttons. I think all the iPhones and their flagships have the same buttons in terms of the power button and the side volume buttons. Overall, it has a great display and a bit heavier. Now let's look at the performance. Now for performance, just like the iPhone 13 as in the previous video, the iPhone 13 Pro Max uses Apple's A15 Bionic chip, but this time with 5-core graphical processing units. So, if you are into gaming, if you are into video editing as well, even high-end gaming, like those games that really use a lot of RAM, you can definitely use this phone because it definitely is still a beast in 2025. However, I have to say that modern phones have the Apple's newer chips, so like the iPhone 16e, which if you compare it with this one, you'd say I would definitely take the iPhone Pro Max, right? iPhone 13 Pro Max. But however, the iPhone 16e uses Apple's latest chip, which is A18, and it receives the latest updates, especially with Apple Intelligence. So obviously, newer phones will have newer chips, but this phone still is a beast, and also 6 gig RAM, which means it still runs fast. Gaming is fast as well. It handles anything and multitasking easily within 2025. So if you're looking for a semi-budget phone in 2025, you could definitely go with the iPhone 13 Pro Max because it still performs pretty well, especially within these conditions, and it still goes above and beyond the rest of the other phones. But if you're looking for something that's modern or uses a modern chip, then definitely you could go with the more modern phones that are coming out now. Okay, so now let's look at the camera. So obviously the rear cameras, they are triple 12 megapixel rear cameras. So I think that's the advantage of all Pro Max models, right? They've those triple lenses, and they offer different perspectives as well. As all the other iPhones, it has different modes like photo, video, cinematic, portrait as well. Then some other options as well. But it has quite a great color if you look at it. And the iPhone 13 Pro Max, I think, will excel in terms of camera as well. Those are the triple 12 megapixel rear cameras I was talking about. The wide, then the ultra wide, then also telephoto kind of cameras. So I'll show you how these kind of act in just some short sprints so that you just see exactly how they act. So you can see there. Then also you can see if I click in the middle, right? One time zoom, 0.5. Then that's one time, then also 3 times. Right, so if you see the distance I am at, with the ground, you see that is actually quite powerful. This is quite a powerful phone, especially in terms of the camera. This is definitely a good phone in terms of camera. So it has everything. It has cinematic, ProRes and ProRes video for creators. Also, you can use night mode on all the lenses. And it's still incredible for photography and videography in 2025, especially in low light and cinematic shooting. Because with the iPhone 13, we discovered that in low light situations, it doesn't quite excel, although it has great quality, but it doesn't quite excel. So definitely this works in those low light situations. So now we'll look at the battery. Now obviously battery is quite a topical issue because most people definitely buy their phones based off of battery. Battery is a definite factor in terms of people's decision whether to buy a phone or not. So with this phone, it still really works well. And any battery with a capacity above 4,000 milliamps per hour definitely will work well. As you can see, my capacity is now at 84%, but it can easily last a day. And this phone really has very few apps. It uses Netflix and a few other apps as well, WhatsApp, etc. However, even with those apps, this battery still lasts even a day quite easily. So any phone that lasts a day easily like that would definitely be a good phone. So I would say that. And also, you can use it, even play videos, watch Netflix, watch YouTube. You can use it for that as well. Then obviously it has MagSafe, so you can use your MagSafe to charge it. So, wireless charging, I think, definitely makes it a cut above some of the newer phones or above the rest of the other non-iPhone models. Then, battery really lasts quite long. But obviously, newer phones like the iPhone 16 range will obviously have better batteries and in terms of capacity as well. Now let's look at the software updates. Now this phone is not up to date because I was using this in comparison with my iPhone 13. My iPhone 13 is the one which is up to date. Then this one we're using it to kind of compare with the non-iOS 18 experience. So with updates, it was shipped with iOS 15, the iPhone 13 Pro Max. But you can actually download the latest, which is iOS 18.4.1. That's the stable version. Then on the beta versions, we're at iOS 18.5, I think beta 2 now as we speak. So definitely with software updates, you still get the latest softwares. But as I said with the iPhone 13 review, that these updates would seem pointless in some respect, because yes, you might get changes like the calculator changes where you can continuously add or, those kinds of things. On the control center as well. However, when you are looking at kind of where Apple is going with these updates, which is Apple Intelligence, iPhone 13 from the iPhone 14 range going downwards, that means the iPhone 13s, 12s, 11s will not get those updates, the Siri updates, the Apple Intelligence updates. So it kind of seems pointless to actually update unless only for security reasons or performance reasons. So definitely in terms of updates, there's still a gap there. However, Apple will still support updates for like 5 or 6 years, so we'll still continue to get these updates up to 2026, 2027, and then maybe Apple will say, okay, we are no longer supporting iPhone 13, the iPhone 13 range. But in terms of updates, I definitely feel like Apple should do more, especially with these older phones. Also give them some bit of perspective, not only design changes, but also give them, some of the tools that are definitely needed. Because for budget phones, in terms of Samsung, you can use Gemini, to kind of do all your things and etc. But with Apple, they only say a certain range of phones who only use Apple Intelligence and Siri or things like that. So yeah, I definitely feel like Apple should do more within that respect. So obviously you clicked on this video because you want to see whether you can buy an iPhone 13 Pro Max in 2025, or you are using an iPhone 13 Pro Max and you just want to see how it compares with the current standards. In general, I would say it's safe to actually buy an iPhone 13 Pro Max. I would definitely go for the Pro Max version than the iPhone 13 in general, because obviously in terms of camera, I think that's where it's most powerful with those 3 lenses. It has great performance. It also has a good build design as well. It's a bit on the heavier side, but some people like that. However, we also have to look at the software updates kind of section, where for iPhone 13 range, you won't really connect with Starlink, or you won't have those updates for Apple Intelligence, Siri, ChatGPT. So obviously, if you're looking for that, this might not be the phone for you. But for everyday users, like users who are just interested in certain aspects, like creating videos, maybe taking pictures, or daily use of your phone, like just general use, then this is definitely a good phone to buy and consider in 2025. What do you think about the iPhone 13 Pro Max? Is it worth buying in 2025? Leave a comment down below.